Crypto junkie merch, crypto junkie merch, crypto junkie merch, crypto junkie merch, hey.
What's up, crypto junkies? Jay here, and I want to talk about Satoshi's vision. I think a lot of people in crypto today don't fundamentally understand what it's supposed to be doing. I didn't. Honestly, I didn't give a f***. I just wanted to make money. I'm so glad that I stuck around. I'm so glad that I caught the bug, that I actually get, and I've sifted through the and get now the very ethos of what's happening. We need to go back in time, and I really wish the people that were involved back in this time would tell this story more loudly than they are now. I know this story because I've interviewed these people and talked to some of these people firsthand. Going back to 2005, that is when digital currencies, cryptocurrencies just started. They were called digital currencies back then. And that was the precursor to Bitcoin. And they were shut down. They were shut down because of politics. The Fed came in, the federal government, the FBI came in and shut everybody down. They seized everybody's stuff, they threw everybody in jail, and they pinned, the blame on somebody for trying to break the financial and monetary system in the United States. But most importantly, Western Union helped out with that and got behind that because they're one of the biggest money launderers that exist. And they didn't want somebody taking their pie off the table, charging 12 to 15% on, sending money, right? So anyway, that's where all this started. You don't think that developers back then were salty and then got together and created what became Bitcoin? Of course they did. Of course they did. And what they learned from that is that the FBI can only shut you down if you're centralized. What is the core ethos of Bitcoin? Decentralization. No one point of failure. No one point that could be raided or seized, right? What did we learn from Kim.com with Mega Upload? Don't have 1 point of failure, even 10 points, 15 data centers. It's not enough. A truly decentralized platform was necessary. But why? Who cares, right? I think a lot of people, they don't even understand what decentralization means. It's just this hype word that's getting annoying to hear. What does that actually mean? Let's go back in time. There was a time and a point when we lived in tribes, in small communities, right? Pecking order. And guys would go out and hunt for the women. They'd bring home the bacon, they'd bring home the food, and then the whole village or the family would be able to eat. But what also existed back then was traditionally very low crime. And the reason why low crime existed in tight communities is because everyone knew each other. The people that were put in charge to police or manage from a muscular and defense standpoint were voted in. There was a group consensus that all decided and trusted. Most importantly, trusted. So what we're going back to is that. Like in Indonesia, in Bali, it's so amazing to see that the Banjar, which is the local police, have more power than the actual policey themselves. And somebody just reminded me of this story today. I don't know why, but I forgot it. The police come in, they have less power than the local police because everyone in the communities know each other. So the crime tends to be a lot lower here. And it's because not only do you lose face and everybody stops trusting you in your local community when they find out that it was you, but also too, they don't really need to because everyone knows each other. And so there's just this trust baked in. And this worked before. Just like gold worked before, silver worked before. Well, gold more than silver. Gold worked as a monetary piece, as a financial piece, but let's face it, it's really hard to carry it around. Just like if we were to go to a Ripple for a centralized digital currency, we're just repeating the same mistake, the same problem over and over again. So if we allow Ripple to take over and that's what all the banks pick up and Western Union picks up, it's the same that we have now, but it's just called a cryptocurrency. It's far from decentralized. If we backed a cryptocurrency by gold, then we would be repeating the same problem. And up until the 70s, when that was removed, it would be repeating that same thing over again. And people have thought this through. And people that understand Satoshi's vision, they understand this deeply. But even I just made a mistake just then, because I called it Satoshi's vision. So even by talking about Satoshi's vision and labeling it that way is against what Satoshi wanted. When crypto first started, I was not in it, but I understand this part of it, is that what people were rallying against is change. They were rallying against the central bankers, the few banks that run everything. They were rallying against the currently over 2 billion people that don't have access to banks. They're unbanked, and it's because they're too high of a risk, because the big banks would lose too much money by allowing that. Even though it's an estimated $380 billion in market money. It's too risky for them, so they don't do it. And it just blows my mind that we haven't thought of a solution for those people. And most people, they don't care about those people, honestly. That's who crypto was fighting for. You know, I think a lot of the vision has gotten muddied up, I really do. I don't think it was ever supposed to be this thing to where we're fighting something or out in the streets, knocking each other out. It's never supposed to be a physical battle. It was supposed to be a journey, I guess, of peace. And in peace, you don't fight. And you don't need to go to peace rallies even. You just, doesn't work that way. I think a lot of people have really lost track of that. It's the retail money that has helped that. It is the fact that people did go and get Lambos last December that has affected that. And it is the fact that notoriously 9 out of 10 people will try and get rich quick. And that is muddied up the vision, which is why when you go on crypto Twitter, like, you know, I can tend to make fun of it, but I understand it. And I understand the passion that's in it. There's so much debate all the time, every day. That's why people come into this market and they're like, F this. Everyone's just yelling at each other. You gotta understand, this is what passion looks like. And a lot of people are asleep at the wheel, but this is what passion looks like. And so if you can't handle that, then don't look at it, first off. Go back to your bubble. But understand that this is the market that we're dealing with, because you gotta understand fundamentally why it was created. Like I said, it wasn't supposed to be this big battle and get the pitchforks out and let's hang the bankers and whatever, poke them with the pitchfork. I don't know what you do with the pitchfork, but that was never what it was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be just a really sly way of getting us back to what a model that worked. And that model can work on a bigger scale. We can drop and erase the borders of the world, and we can become one big 7 billion person community that all knows each other, and they can trust each other through a system and multiple subsystems that operate and work. And we can share data, and we can transact together, even if we don't know each other, or more importantly, speak the same language. Because to have a interplanetary community, you don't need to speak the same language, but you got to be able to trust a transaction. That's what blockchain, that's what decentralization, that's what Bitcoin was created to do. Like I said, because money, and because a lot of people are getting rich for the first time in crypto, and you can tell, man, posting pictures of their cars. Guys who have made money, they don't post pictures of their cars anymore. They don't give a f. They've made money. But the guy who just made it, oh man, look at my new house, look at my new spot, look at my new computer setup. You know, they're sharing everything, which in this climate might be a bit of a silly thing to do, because there's a sizable amount of people that are getting robbed for their crypto. Because again, the older belief systems. That is again a point of reference here, is that we can't talk about crypto, we can't talk about blockchain, we can't talk about decentralization using the same words and the same descriptors that explained and described the old things. Because that doesn't work. And that's adding to the confusion right now. We have to open up new dialogue and use new words and new ways to describe this, because it is a new thing that is rooted and built upon the old things that worked. The old things that worked. Gold worked. Communities worked. We have the opportunity now, globally, to build that. And it's really mind-blowing to think about. And I think it might be a little too big for a lot of people to digest. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Cue those comments now. Go ahead, feel free. But that's really what this has the potential to do. And in that global economy, with no borders and no lines, with way more peace, currency essentially isn't really needed. There was a time when there was no currency, but everyone had a place. I don't know if we'll ever get back to that, but I think that some of the deeper parts of the vision, some of the more spiritual parts of the vision, was to help edge us along that way. That's what we have the opportunity to do in front of us, you and me. And we do that through supporting this whole ecosystem with its, just by using it. The usage supports it. You don't even have to understand what I'm saying at all, but the usage supports it and gets us one step closer every single day, every single transaction, to moving away from systems that no longer work into systems that are based on things that we know work. Average fiat currency lasts 28 years. That doesn't work. We're gonna be here for a long time. Changing that shit out every 28 years sounds a bit stupid to me. US dollars lasted a lot longer than that. So yeah, I'll finish up at this point. I don't think that we need to war and battle over this. It's more of a subtle thing, and it's just more of an awakening. It's more of a re-remembering what we already know to be true. We know that it's not working the way it's going right now. It's up to us to fix it, and that's really what crypto represents. And I think that there is some projects coming out and some visionary people that are now getting involved in crypto, that is what they want. That is what they're talking about. And I think that is really the ethos of what Satoshi was talking about, Satoshi Nakamoto. But we'll see, time will tell. So anyways, that's my little rant on that. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If it's on DLive, I'd love if you upvoted us. All you gotta do is log in with your Steemit account or create a brand new one. upvote us, and I would really appreciate that. If you like what I'm talking about here, share it around. Help us get some more exposure and build this community. We got a community in the Discord, which is a chat server of over 5,300 people now. We'd love to have you join us. It is free to join, and you get access to a ton of different characters, some amazing people from all over the world that have come together to share their knowledge and help other people through this wacky world of cryptocurrency. See you, my friends.